Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the 808 podcast where I interview business owners, CEOs, whoever I want. It's 4 questions, 8 minutes and 8 seconds because 808 looks like Bob. And here we go. Question number 1 in a few sentences. Tell us who you are and what do you do?
My name is Claire McKinney. I own a digital and traditional PR agency in the New York metro area. We specialize in digital PR campaigns for personal brands and individually branded businesses.
Love it, Claire. Question number 2. What advice are you going to share? Go.
Well, I have a bunch of things to share that are about how to be a better digital citizen and marketer as a business. There are a few things here that I have highlighted. One is that you need to always have a plan and a strategy for your internet marketing that includes paid, earned, and owned media. So many businesses, especially smaller businesses, think that they can still work organically on the internet and social media in order to grow their audience and their businesses. But now you really need to consider putting some money up front because there's just too much competition and over 3.3 billion people on social media. So if you're going to use LinkedIn or Facebook or any of these tools, you need to put some money into it. The other thing is, if you usually approach your leads with something like, I want to let you know how we can service or provide for you, you really need to change that to something that starts with, I'm interested in learning more about you, or I understand that you may need help with. Today's cornerstones in marketing digitally are about storytelling and about eliciting an emotional response. And I want businesses to remember that when you're marketing and selling to other businesses, eliciting that emotional response, it's the same thing because businesses are run by people. So you don't want to think of it only as a B2C situation. You need to think of it in terms of how you're dealing with the people in those businesses, what their needs are, what their pain points are. The other thing is when you have a business with employees, this is a big part of something that is a up and coming strategy. And it has to do with personal brands as well as sort of overall brands in business. And that is brand advocacy. So there are a couple of ways to get brand advocacy. One is through user-generated content and promotions and things where you have, so you put something out on the internet like this and be entered to win something, or comment on this and be entered to, be a part of our next product launch or something like that. Then when you have people commenting, you can use those comments in your social media plans in order to get access to their followers when you tag them in these posts. Well, your employees are the same. So your employees actually have their own social media accounts. And if you put a brand advocacy policy in place, you can utilize those employees to help you grow your business. So what you want to do is set up some incentives and programs within your company, make clear what your expectations are, make clear what your messages are going to be, and then ask your employees to opt in and become a part of cheering for what it is that you do in the market and cheering for your business in front of other businesses and what they do.
Question for you. Can you give me an example? Because you're talking about incentivizing employees to post about the company on social media. What is a good example of that?
Well, it's kind of like anything in sales. Like you could have an incentive like the department in the company that gets the most engagements or comments on their posts or puts the most content out there on social media in a given week will be able to win, dinner for the team or lunch for the team or, gift cards or, something along those lines. It's just like what you would do with your B2C kind of promotions that people do when you want consumers to buy products, but you're doing it with your employees who are also, not only they're brand advocates, they're your consumers in a big way because they're part of your company. They're actually consuming the opportunity to work with you, and trust and incentives and environment are all becoming so critical in the workplace.
Absolutely there. How would you feel about making it to where the person who gets the most engagement or that part there gets to go home early Friday? Would that be a good offer?
I think that's good. Oh yeah.
See, as an employee there, like you tell me, oh, you get to go have lunch with more people. I'm like, okay, you want to spend more of my time? I'm like, meh. That part there. Gift card, well, I better really like the place, but you say, hey, whoever gets this gets to go home early Friday and still get paid for it. Sold.
Right. Or gets to take a comp day, gets to take a Friday off. Yeah.
Even who gets an extra comp day. Sold. How many, how many comments do you want a day?
Yep. No, exactly. I mean, that's the kind of thing that you want to do. And it does take some monitoring, and you do need to be specific, because if you don't tell people exactly what you want them to do, they will not do it. So you really need to give them specific instructions.
Right. It's kind of an example that there's like, because the NFL, a while back, there was an NFL player called Marshall Lynch who
Oh, yeah.
hated doing, doing the PR stuff. And the NFL said, if you don't do this PR, you're going to get a huge fine. So all he did was go and said, I'm just here so I don't get fined. That was every single question. So you want to be a little more specific.
Right. You want to be specific, and also encourage it from a morale point of view too. So that you're not, making people feel like this is part of their job responsibilities, because that would probably be illegal.
Yeah, that would probably be there. Because if you told me that, I constantly post 100 times a day. I'm posting so I get a comp day. I'm posting so I get a comp day.
Right.
Yep. So that part there. Okay, let's get to question number 3. So what other top CEOs, business owners, influencers that you know are successful, like yourself, would you like to give a shout out and should be guests on my podcast?
Well, one person is Umit B. I'm not going to pronounce his last name because it's a little bit difficult. And he runs All Computers Go in Chester, and does cybersecurity and networks for businesses. He's been really helpful with my business. I totally recommend him to be a part of any podcast or to talk about what he does. Also, Mary Leone at Diversity Outreach Partners, who's I met through LinkedIn, and Ruthie Postow at RP Staffing in DC, who came from literally a dirt road in Alabama and built a hugely successful staffing business on K Street.
Awesome. I will look them all up here. Number 4, final fun question, Claire. Tell me about your first sale.
Well, originally my first sale was going to be something related to the business, but then when you said I can make it whatever I want, I think I'm going to talk a little bit about when I sold American Express accounts door to door in New York City when I was in college. So on college breaks, I would go out. I actually had some leads already, lead sheets, and I would go door to door in Hell's Kitchen and knock on bodegas, hair braiding salons, all kinds of places, by myself, walking around in the snow oftentimes, to get people to sign up. And I got $10 a contract. So that was, those days, Hell's Kitchen wasn't gentrified. So it wasn't what you all may know about it out in the country. It was an interesting place.
Right. And this was only like, what, 5 years ago? Because you said
right,
college.
5 years ago. Yeah, when I was in college. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. There we go here. Perfect. So you got 43 seconds left. We can do some promo time, a call to action, talk about the weather, or ask me a question, whatever. Go for it.
Well, I would really love people to go to the website and check out what we do at ClaireMcKinneyPR.com. But also, I think that I wanted to mention one other thing that's important for people to do when they're working in digital marketing. And that has to do with CRM services and relationship marketing, because this just happened to me where somebody reached out. And then when I said, okay, sure, they didn't have any idea of what I was or who I was. Because they had automated so much. So I would remember not to automate everything in your business, and make sure that you remember that we're like humans on the other end.
Oh, and that is time right there. You pulled it off. 4 questions in 8 minutes and 8 seconds. Claire, why is it 8 minutes and 8 seconds?
Oh, because that is 8 minutes and 8 seconds is very much like Bob.
Exactly. There you go. You pulled it off there. And thank you so much for being on. And everyone, I am legally required to tell you to make sure you like, share, comment, subscribe, thumbs up, ring the bell, whatever the social media network tells you to do. You all have a wonderful day. I will talk to you later. Bye.